What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so I know I've started my last few videos off like this, but holy crap, Donald Trump is just coming out of the gate, like just hitting on all cylinders. It's almost like there was a nuclear blast when he got inaugurated, just blasting, just boom, just everything is freaking awesome that is coming from the Trump administration currently. And I saw this meme earlier this afternoon that it just sums up everything beautifully, right? It's this, right? I haven't read it yet, but I saw it earlier, and I'm doing this based off of memory, but it's something to the effect, well, you're reading it, right? We're not cleaning up Biden's mess, we're cleaning up the mess that created Biden. It's insane, and I love it, and it's great right now. And, once again, Donald Trump is just coming out, hitting on all cylinders. As a matter of fact, it's not only just hitting on all cylinders, he's doing that, but it's like one of those hybrids, one of those sports hybrids, because he's hitting on all cylinders, plus he has two electric motors pushing him right now as well, on top of hitting on all cylinders with octane booster or racing fuel, whatever. And he's also attached several rockets to the back of this thing that is just blasting him forward as he goes. You gotta love this. And the media, of course, they're manipulating everything to great effect. It's great. Check this out, y'all. Trump administration takes first anti-abortion move on world stage, right? So the framing of this, once again, media manipulation, they have to manipulate everything. That right there would lead you to believe that he's taking steps that are anti-abortion. Right? That's what, because it says taking steps that are anti-abortion. But that's not what he's doing, is it? No, it's not. We'll come to find that out later. But just, I'm going to let you know right off the jump, because the headline is manipulative on this one. Very manipulative. It's not anti-abortion, right? This article is not a pendulum swing back the other direction. This brings things back to center. Just back to center. Doesn't go right, doesn't go left. Just back to the center. That's all that is. So I'm getting that out of the way right quick, just to let you guys know, so you don't start this off from a left-wing bias. Because once again, it's left-wing news, Politico. So it is what it is. Now that we've got the air cleared, let's go. The Trump administration plans to rejoin an international anti-abortion pact alongside countries such as Uganda, Saudi Arabia, and Belarus, taking its first formal step to roll back Biden-era global health policies and previewing an expected strategy of seeking to curtail abortion access for millions of women and girls worldwide. Seeking to curtail abortion access. That is not what's going on here, but we'll get into that. But you love the framing of this. Oh, he's going to curtail abortion access. Oh, my goodness. Secretary of State Marco Rubio instructed the U.S. mission to the United Nations in a confidential diplomatic cable issued Friday to notify countries that it plans to rejoin the so-called Geneva Consensus Declaration. Politico obtained a copy of the document. Blah, 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 blah. The Geneva Declaration was a first Trump term initiative sponsored by 6 countries: the United States, Brazil, Egypt, Hungary, Indonesia, and Uganda, that sought to curb global access and support for abortions by stating that there is no international right to abortion, and thus countries do not have any obligation to finance or facilitate it. That is right. Why are we funding abortion clinics outright? So, once again, this is not a pendulum swing in the other direction. This is bringing us back to the center. This is saying, just outright blanketly, that the federal government is not going to give any aid to abortion clinics or facilitate anything that has anything to do with abortion. They're not going to, it's not an anti-abortion movement. They're not going to shut down abortion clinics. They're not going to try to implement some ban on abortion. Once again, they are just removing themselves from the conversation outright. So this is not a pendulum swing, y'all. But once again, the corporate press, they got to manipulate you. They need to make you think that they're going hard against abortion when they're really not. They're just pulling themselves, just totally eliminating themselves from the topic whatsoever. But hey, the corporate press is going to corporate press. That's what they do. When he took office, President Joe Biden withdrew from the declaration as part of the Democrat support for abortion rights, which this always happens. Every single Democrat and Republican, they either get into it or go away from it. So that's just how it is, ever since a long time. Rubio's cable took a parting shot at the prior administration, saying Biden's decision to withdraw from the pact, combined with the Biden administration's negative rhetoric and pressure tactics, undermined women's health and diminished each nation's sovereign right to legislate its own position on matters of women's health and the family. The cable continues, "We are committed to promoting women's health and meeting the needs of women, children, and their families at all stages of life. We will pursue these objectives in cooperation with member states in the UN system and through our continued shared ambition for improved health for women and girls." His cable came the same day Vice President J.D. Vance told thousands of anti-abortion protesters at the March for Life rally in Washington that Trump will be the most pro-life, most pro-life American president of our lifetimes. The Geneva Consensus Declaration is a non-binding pact that was adopted in October 2020. It eventually drew support from 39 countries, including Belarus, Congo, Hungary, Indonesia, Iraq, Kenya, Libya, Pakistan, Poland, Saudi Arabia, South Sudan, and Uganda, which that's kind of a crazy union right there. Think about all those different countries. I mean, Belarus. Oh, why is Russia not in there? Oh, Russia, right? Brazil and Colombia have since withdrawn from it as progressive heads of state took over in both countries. Abortion and gender rights advocates have sharply criticized the pact, saying such initiatives endanger the lives of women and girls, particularly in developing countries that rely on foreign assistance for sexual and reproductive health support. What the hell is sexual health support? What is that? And does this do that? I don't think this does, because to me, what sexual health support would mean would be like, support for STDs, essentially. Because what else could it be? Like information? Well, I mean, people know this information. It comes instinctually to people to how to procreate, right? I mean, people just know these things. You don't really have to be taught much of this. Now, to be safe, you do. And hey, I get that. And this is not that. This is just removing funding from anywhere that supports abortion. Just outright. So once again, not a pendulum swing. This is not pro-life. This is just backing away from supporting abortion in any form or fashion. Right? Letting the free market do what it wants. The Declaration's signatory countries state they support women's health, but that reproductive health and rights do not include abortion. Hey, that's totally right. Once again, not a pendulum swing, y'all. The first Trump administration took a hardline stance against any health initiatives seen to be tacitly endorsing abortion that offer a preview of what Trump's return to the Oval Office means for the U.S. posturing on global health in the United Nations and other international forums. In 2019, for example, the Trump administration threatened to veto a UN-led resolution aimed at preventing SA in conflict zones over claims that language in the resolution on sexual and reproductive health condoned abortions. Ultimately, the resolution was passed with U.S. support after Germany, a lead sponsor of the initiative, stripped the language in question from the resolution. Good. Bring them to heel. As a matter of fact, bring these people to heel. Because I don't think government, as far as sending funding for abortion, should get involved with that. They should not do that, especially in a deficit. There's a lot of things the government should not fund in a deficit. It's ridiculous that we do so. Other countries don't have to do this. Why does the United States have to do it? Why do we have to just continually raise our debt ceiling, for crying out loud? Like, why can we just stop spending in a deficit? Like, this is possible. Like, we've got ourselves in such a sticky situation here that we don't know how to get our way out of it. Like, any cuts to the government funding is like just so hard to do. They just can't seem to do it. They don't know, where are we going to make these cuts? Well, there's a lot of places we can make cuts. Entitlement programs, for one. Like, honestly, Social Security, well, like, that needs to be just completely revamped, in my opinion. Right, and I know a lot of people get sour when they hear that, but I do believe that revamping Social Security is a lot more popular than people are led to believe, right? Because, no politician will get out there and say anything about getting rid of Social Security, right? Maybe privatizing it might be the way to go, right? Because 401ks and blah, 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 blah. And I'm not too big on either one. I'm not sure. But the idea of Social Security just makes absolutely no sense at this point to me. But, I'm a unique individual. I don't like government handout. I don't like entitlement programs. I don't want the government's help at all. Get away from me. Like, if I'm paying your taxes, I'm paying your taxes to keep my roads, infrastructure, blah, 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 blah. That stuff, a military to keep me safe, secure my border. Yes, 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 and yes. Police station, yeah, I pay my local, state, and, my state and local officials for these things. So, yeah, federal government, do your damn job. Stay out of my life. That's what I want, right? I'll take care of myself. I don't need, just despicable amount of money, right? And it is. Like, the payments from Social Security are just ridiculous. It's like $1,000 a month or something like that. Like, who lives on that? $1,000 a month. I mean, like, I could be doing okay if I lived on that a week, right? That's a little bit more than what I make currently a week, right? I would be doing fine with that a week, but that's a month. That's $250 a week. Like, who can live on that? Not many people. Not many people at all. Especially if you still have, utilities to pay for. You would have to be living with somebody else. You would have to be living with your children. Or somebody. To be able to live on that currently. That's ridiculous. So, it doesn't work. It doesn't do what it said it was going to do, right? Because that's supposed to be like your retirement. Right? I mean, it's supposed to be able to support people. That's what it is. Social security. So you can be secure from the government. Right? It's an entitlement program meant to be able to retire and still be able to get money and live your life. That's what that's supposed to be for. But it takes 4 people to make one outgoing payment. 4 people paying into Social Security to have one outgoing payment. That's ridiculous. That's untenable. It's unsustainable. You can't sustain that. You would have to have a birth rate at 4+. We'd have to grow the GDP. Right? The population, sorry. Well, the GDP would have to grow too, but our population would have to, our replacement rate would have to be at 4 or higher to be able to sustain that. And that's not where we're at, by the way. Yeah, we're at like 1.2 or 1.3, something like that. And that could be the reason why Joe Biden decided to bring in a bunch of criminal aliens. Well, you know what? A lot of those people aren't paying taxes, so they're not paying into Social Security. So that kind of makes, that's trying to steel man the Democrats' argument on this. But, yeah, once again, even trying to steel man the argument on why you would just open your borders up, there's holes. There's definitely holes in that argument because, once again, not all of those people are working. Not all of those people are paying into Social Security anyway. Even some of the ones that are working, they're working for cash under the table. So it's like they're not paying taxes. So what do you do at this point? It just makes absolutely no sense why they would just open the borders like that, especially when we know the world is not a safe place. There is evil people out in the world that want to manipulate our system, that want to come here because, there's new opportunities for doing all kinds of criminal stuff, right? Just criminal activities all over the place. You got all these cartels. That's another thing that come across these people and then force them to work for the cartels, putting these people in a bad situation. And it's just a horrible situation going on with that southern border. So I think shutting it all down, sure, some people, it might be a bad situation for some people, but look, we've got to shut down the criminal activity that goes along that southern border. We've got to shut that down. Our sovereignty is very, very important to the prosperity of this nation, and without sovereignty, we won't get prosperity, for crying out loud. Our culture is being degraded at a rapid pace. And that's not good for this country, y'all. When your cultural starts to just fall by the wayside. In other words, it starts to degrade, break apart slowly. And that's what it's doing. And that's what unfettered, unchecked immigration does. Just blows our culture away, just destroys it outright. And that's what Joe Biden has brought. But, that's all getting overturned, and now I'm rambling on about some nonsense, right? So, y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. That's all I got on this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.